Welcome back, gamers, to another review. In a genre increasingly dominated by the giants like Elden Ring and Lies of P, it's becoming harder for indie developers to carve out a niche in its Souls-like market. Yet Deathbound by Trial Forge Studios dares to do just that. This by blending familiar elements with bold, innovative mechanics that both excite and frustrate. It's a game that reaches for the stars, yet often stumbles on the way, resulting in an experience that's as much about potential as it is about execution. Deathbound plunges you into the post-apocalyptic world of Simo, a setting that merges the aesthetics of medieval fantasy with the bleakness of science fiction. Its narrative is centered around the eternal conflict between the Church of Death and the Cult of Life, two factions locked up in a brutal struggle for dominance. The game's lore, while not the most original, is enriched by the complex interactions between the characters, each embodying different aspects of this world's fractured belief systems. The story is a familiar tale of ideological conflict, but it's the dialogue and the banter between the game characters that injects life into the narrative. Each one of the four main characters, whom the player controls by channeling their essence, brings a unique perspective to the unfolding events, leading to moments of surprising depth and introspection. Whether it's the Sailor's Crusader, Tyrone, or the cynical rogue Lulia, these characters add a new sense to the world that might otherwise feel derivative. Where this game truly distinguishes itself, it's in its gameplay mechanics. At its core, the game's a Souls-like action RPG, but introduces a unique twist to the game with its party-based combat system. You, the player, control 4 different characters, switching between them in real time to leverage their unique abilities in combat. And this system, referred to as the Morphin, allows for a level of strategic depth that is rare in the genre. Each essence has its own strengths and weaknesses, and mastering the time of morph strikes and the morph dodges can make the difference between victory or defeat. However, this innovation is not without its drawbacks, as the shared health and stamina pool across all characters can be a source of frustration. As characters take damage, the entire party's effectiveness dwindles, making careful management of resources essential. And the game's unusual health mechanic, where healing one character drains the other one, adds another layer of complexity but can feel counterintuitive and punishing, especially in the heat of battle. The game's combat, while inventive, is hampered by the sense of clunkiness that pervades the experience. Even the faster essence feels slightly sluggish, and the delay in attack animations can feel the combat feel unresponsive at times. This is accelerated by the inconsistency enemy AI, which alternates between overly predictable patterns and sudden unreactable attacks. These issues detract from what could have been a standout combat system, making it feel more frustrating and challenging. And visually, the game is a mixed bag, as the game's environments are richly detailed, with ruins of Akradia offering a haunting blend of decaying modern architecture and ancient mystical structures. The contrast between the Church of Death's Gothic cathedrals and the Cult of Life's techno-infused strongholds creates a compelling backdrop for the game's narrative. But the game's visual splendor is marred by the technical shortcomings, bland textures, occasional graphical glitches, and the poorly implemented invisible walls, which of course break immersion. But despite its flaws, the game does manage to create a world that feels lived in and atmospheric, even if it doesn't quite reach the height of its AAA counterparts. When it comes to its audio design, it's honestly not bad. The music does an admirable job of setting the mood, especially during tense moments of exploration and intense combat. However, it rarely rises above being background noise, lacking the memorable themes or motives that can elevate the game's atmosphere. Its voice acting is similarly serviceable, with the character performances bringing their personalities to life without truly impressing. The sound effects, particularly in the combat, have a satisfying weight to them, though they occasionally suffer from poor mixing, with certain sounds overpowering them. And the gameplay is where the game's ambitions both shine and falter. Its party-based combat system is undoubtedly the most significant innovation, offering a fresh take of the Souls-like formula. The ability to switch between characters on the fly adds a layer of technical depth that is both challenging and rewarding, but the game's systems are often a letdown, but thanks to its poor implementation. The shared health and stamina mechanics can make the combat feel unnecessarily punitive, particularly when coupled with the game's clunky controls and inconsistent enemy behavior. Plus, the lack of polish is evident in every aspect of the gameplay, from its awkward menu navigation to the occasional frustrating glitches that can disrupt the combat flow. And the boss fights, a hallmark of the Souls-like genre, are a mixed experience. While some encounters offer a genuine challenge and require you to make full use of your party's abilities, other bosses are disappointingly simplistic, with limited movesets and predictable patterns that can be exploited with minimal effort. And when it comes to progression, Deathbound is handled through a skill tree that unlocks new abilities and stat bonuses for each essence. While the idea of sharing progression across multiple characters is intriguing, its skill tree can be overwhelming with a web of interconnected upgrades that can feel insignificant. A 1% increase in defense or melee damage is barely noticeable and leads to a sense of stagnation as players level up. Moreover, the lack of meaningful customization options, such as modifiable armor or weapons, limits the potential for varied builds. The game's absence of merchants or significant loot further detracts from the game's sense of progression, reducing the incentive to explore or experiment with different strategies. In my opinion, Deathbound is a game that reaches for greatness but ultimately falls short. It's a worthy effort from an indie studios, but it needs a lot more refinement and polish to truly compete with the heavyweights in the genre. In my opinion, this game is a 6 out of 10. It's an okay game. If you're a Souls-like fan, unfortunately, I don't think I can recommend this game at all, especially since there's so many more better Souls-like games out there. If you've played it, did you like it? Would you recommend it? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a great day.